Welcome to More Than Renovating, a Renovate and real estate podcast. Our founder, Belinda Smith, talks to industry experts to provide you with the knowledge and information you need to make renovating for love and profit your reality. Belinda will also chat to some of her Renovation Mastery members, who are just everyday people doing extraordinary things, following their passions in the renovation and property space. So, let's jump straight into the episode. Enjoy.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Belinda Smith from Renovate and Real Estate. On today's podcast episode, which you'll also catch on YouTube, is my guest, Donna Watson-Boyd. Donna and I have been working together for quite a few months now. Donna is an interior designer and a renovation consultant based on the Central Coast of New South Wales. She's available for client work both locally and remotely across Australia. She brings a creative instinct to every renovation, a sharp eye for scale, proportion, and design consistency while keeping a firm handle on budget and timeframes. Donna's approach is listening first, understanding how a client or potential homeowner actually lives before making a single design decision, so the end result feels considered rather than generic. And alongside her interior and renovation work, Donna comes from a musical background. She also creates and sells original fluid acrylic art, which is also another creative outlet. It's this combination, a designer's eye, a project manager's discipline, and an artist's creativity that's behind the way she works with every client and every space. How's that for an intro, Donna?
That's amazing. I would hire me.
I would hire you too. It's been so good to watch you grow your business in the renovation space. I know you've just completed a project which has been really nice for me to follow. The outcome was just gorgeous. So let's start right at the beginning. Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like, and how early did you recognize your creative skills?
Oh gosh, I'm a Sydney girl originally, grew up in Sydney, and I had a very interesting sort of spread of where I lived in Sydney because my mum's parents actually lived on Goat Island in the harbour, and we had all school holidays and things. So when the reenactment of the first fleet sailed into Sydney Harbour, I was sitting on Nana's laundry roof with my cousins and my sister watching the fleet sail past. So I grew up there, and also Patonga on the Central Coast. They had a holiday home up there, and then my other Nana was down on the South Coast. And I think I've always been really visually aware of my surroundings. So we went from, living in a little house in Sydney, a brick house in Sydney, and then a blonde brick house in Sydney. And then, Nana's place on Goat Island had all of these beautiful old homes, because the men, when they were on duty, would sleep in the barracks, and they put all of the families up in these gorgeous homes. And there was a lot of different architectural things to notice. And they were beautifully furnished with mid-century modern stuff, and it was just gorgeous. And then, they had a fibro shack up at Patonga, and with all the fishermen's cottages, and then the other Nana down on the South Coast, there was a lot of mining cottages and things. So, yeah, it was really interesting, and I noticed all of that. I just used to really take it all in right from the word go.
Even as a child. And so, and it's all about like you just explained then, it's all about the way that home makes you feel and your memories and
absolutely. Yeah.
Locations. So that's when you kind of recognized your creative skills. And when you were young, you were also musical. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. I have always been one of the least coordinated and very clumsy people in the world. And so during school, when your parents go, you must have a hobby. You have to have a hobby, and everybody else had sport, and my parents were like, yeah, don't do that. So I was always singing. Dad was a great driver. We used to go to Cairns just in school holidays and stuff. He just loved driving. And the second we get in the car, I would start singing. So mum and dad said, that's it, you're having singing lessons after school. So I started at 10, and just always sang, just I then went to do Talent Quest in the clubs, and excuse me, I've done some musical theatre. I then decided I do tend to make rather bold decisions that make perfect sense to me and possibly make everybody else very confused. But I then decided I would move to England. And so I ended up living in England for only about 4 months, but because I got a job singing in America, in Florida. And so I ended up living in the States for another 7.5 years. So just, and mum and dad were always incredibly supportive. I remember my first real job, because singing couldn't possibly be a real job. I got a job in the bank, and the bank manager.
That's a real job. That's a proper boring job.
Yeah, well, the bank manager, the first year, I guess I was singing a lot. And the first Christmas, he went and rented a grand piano and let me play and sing Christmas carols in the branch. And so I was working full time and also gigging full time. And all of my music friends all had families who sat them down and said, you really need to think about getting a real job and planning for your future. My parents sat me down and said, we really think you need to quit the bank because you're doing so well. There was television, there was all sorts of opportunities in those days. And so I was doing all of that, and they just went, look, just forget the bank, just keep singing. So that's what I did.
And you did that for how many years altogether?
Oh, well, I don't know. 30 something. Well, I'm just trying to think. It was because it kind of overlapped. At the end, we hit COVID, and I had actually just written and produced an Olivia Newton-John show, and we just recorded all the video, the promo stuff, and we were just gearing up. And honestly, it was just amazing. All the gigs were just flooding in. We had a full diary, had an awesome band, and it was really exciting. And COVID hit and everything got cancelled. And I just kind of thought, you know what? I think it's a sign. I think that's okay. I'm done. I figured out. I finished the gigs that were in the book. That did keep those bookings. And then that was it really.
So you felt like you needed something a little bit more tangible and doable, and something that wasn't so reliant on bookings and events and.
Yeah, well, the industry changed so much that the overheads were just horrible. So whereas before you'd get a guaranteed fee, after COVID you have to rent the room and then pay for the bar staff and give them a percentage of ticket sales. It just wasn't worth it anymore. So it was a shame. It's really a shame. Live music really took a hit, which was really sad.
It did, but plenty of creative people are creative across a number of genres, which is where you started to move more into the interior space. Tell me a little bit about that and how that began.
Okay, being a muso for years, I could never really afford a really flashy house. So I used to renovate them. I used to find, my friends were really sick of me saying, I found the perfect house. And then I would just change it all. And I couldn't help myself. But I would do that. And gradually, I think I'd done maybe 5 of them or something before COVID hit. And then I was talking to a friend and I said, you know what, I think I need to finally get a real job. And I said, I wish something, there's jobs for interior decorators. And they said, well, why don't you I don't understand why you don't do that. And I thought, I don't know either. And so I went to TAFE to study interior decorating. And then the teachers at the end of that told me I should stay and do the diploma in interior design. Yes. So I did that. I guess one regret, because I had just bought the house I'm currently in on the Central Coast, and I guess one regret would be they asked me if I would please do my teaching certificate and teach interior design at TAFE in Lidcombe, and I didn't follow through. I think because I actually love my little house, and I had just moved in, and the thought of trying to commute all the time down to Sydney for, it was just, and I really needed to start working and get some money in. So I do have a bit of a regret about that, but there's always there's other stuff that'll happen in the future. You never know what's around the corner.
Yeah, I agree. And then you took on a renovation project,
Yes.
and was that how Interiors by Donna really come to life? Like, is that like where's your business heading in relation to interiors?
Yes, yeah, it is. It's yeah, I mean, I registered Interiors by Donna
Yeah,
a number of years ago, and it already had information from existing renovations. But excuse me, I managed to get a funding partner for a project, a renovation project, and I thought, okay, great, this is sort of the launching pad for my business. So rather than you get to the end of a renovation and think, oh, damn, I should have taken a photograph of that, like all of that kind of stuff, I really tried to focus on the befores so that I would have the photos of the afters and use them to show people what I do, what my process is. And yeah, so I'm just pushing ahead with the business now.
yeah, which is brilliant. And as a result, you're getting noticed online, and you're starting to connect with people for, either client work in interior design or renovation consultancy work, and larger projects, renovation
Yeah.
flips, etc. So, which is really, really exciting for me to watch. So congratulations on the work you're
Oh,
doing.
thank you.
Background, guys, if you wanted to follow Donna in interiors, where are you on Instagram? Interiors by Donna? Interiors
Interiors by Donna
one.
One.
I've done one on Instagram. You can have a look at those projects and follow along. So, what's the biggest thing you had to learn or unlearn moving from being a creative performer to running your own business?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this. There wasn't really, because I was also a songwriter, and I was teaching music and all of that, and basically all under the umbrella of my own business. So moving to be a renovation consultant, interior designer, but still running my own business. There's always people only ever see, with musicians, people only ever see the end product.
Yeah.
But there's an awful lot of work and production that goes into that. So yeah, there's not really that much difference. Yeah, just creativity and me through all
Yeah.
the different businesses.
Which is how you can help people remotely as well. So I know that you're based in the Central Coast, and
Mm-hmm.
for a hands-on project, that's fabulous. Or for anybody wanting interior design locally, you can hold hands and shop together and do all of those fun
Yeah,
things that you
yeah.
like to do. But remotely, how can you help people remotely?
I just actually helped a client in Sydney with furnishing their new
Yeah,
apartment. And what I did, my biggest thing is to listen to people,
yeah,
and as they tell you what they're trying to achieve. Because usually when somebody sits down and thinks, I want to redecorate, but I don't know where to start, they're just really, really overwhelmed. And one of the most important things you have to do is figure out how you want to use the space. You know, like um, what what is it that you need? That functionality is so important. So Zoom meetings and phone calls and emails are fine for all of that. Have lots and lots of photographs when I'm working remotely. I ask them to walk through the house and video the house, and then I will more than often get back to them and just say, okay, can you please stand in your living room and take a photograph of this wall?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, and this particular client, his partner thought, his dining chairs were ugly, and of course they were beautiful solid timber, mid-century modern, with that beautiful square cut cane rattan backing, and just
yes,
stunning. But the table got damaged in the move, and it was pretty old anyway. So I started by, well, first of all, I said, "Is he keeping those chairs?" And then, then
yeah,
I said, "Okay, look, I'll get back to you. Those chairs are beautiful. Let's do the dining room around that." And so then I started looking for furniture that would work. Of course, you can't get a dining table that is going to completely match those chairs, but you can still figure it out. And then I put together renders, which I emailed through to them so they could see how the room would look, because most people can't actually, there's no point in sending a photograph of a table because they don't understand how that will fit in that space. So the photograph of that wall, and then set up the table and the chairs around it, did a render and sent that down. And so they've been and ordered their table, like good children. Yeah, same with lighting throughout the living space. And yeah, that's just how it works. It's easy.
Yeah, communicating in a way that your clients can see the end result of a project, like they've got a visual, so they'll
Yeah.
be happy and they can agree to that visual, so they'll be happy when everything comes together. There's no
Yes.
surprises.
Yeah, and I usually give different options as well.
Yeah.
Like, do you like this or do you like this? I don't give too wide a range of options because I think that only confuses people.
Yeah.
So I tend to do a design, a lot of my past renovations and designs color-wise have been around a painting that I love, or something
Yeah.
that's going to take a focal point in the room. And these particular chairs, the gentleman did love those. So that made it really easy to go, okay, let's use that, and then we'll branch out from there. So
Bouncing off point.
yeah, absolutely. And like you say, it looks finished in the picture, and so they understand what you're actually aiming for.
And so why do you think people get overwhelmed with their own home?
Honestly, working with clients, I usually tell people to, as a way to distill, because everybody is sort of bombarded with images of perfect homes all the time now, and they're all quite different. So it's very hard for somebody without design experience to figure out, which way to go. And if you don't zero in on a theme, it's just going to be a disaster, because it won't all match, and a home needs to be cohesive for it to feel calm. And my advice, my starting advice, is to tell clients to start looking on, searching on Pinterest and Instagram, let's say for bathrooms. And then once you're bombarded with bathroom images, you start to see maybe there's a few that you like. So save them to an album. Then after a little while, go into your album and go through it again and see which ones are your favorites, and delete the ones that aren't. And then you will start to notice which of those favorites have a common thread through them. And if you don't notice, I will notice, and I'll be able to help you narrow it down. And I think it's just they're bombarded by just too much information now.
If you start to listen to clients at that level, Donna, that's why you're very successful at getting inside their head a little bit and producing a result that they're pleased with, right? Because you're really working or starting with what they're already aligned to.
Yes. There's no point in designing a fabulous, beautifully stunning kitchen that ends up being completely not functioning at all for for their particular lifestyle, or is in a color that they're really not happy with, that you've kind of cajoled them into because it's trendy. That doesn't work at all. So yeah, you have to listen to what people are telling you about their lifestyle, the functionality required, and then their colors and things that make it feel like home for them.
And their budget.
Oh, very important. Yeah. It's surprising what you can do with IKEA, with Kmart now. It's amazing what's out there. And you can achieve it's like jewelry, man. If you will always wear diamonds and then you start to buy a few cubic zirconia pieces, no one notices. And if you have beautiful pieces, if you have beautiful pieces around your house, and then you have, more affordable things, people don't notice. If they're the right things and they are the right accent and they fit with the colors and they don't stick out like a sore thumb, then it all adds to the look and feel of the home.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so your recent project, let's have a bit of a deep dive into that. You've just wrapped up a project on the Central Coast. Tell me about the house.
I love the house.
Oh, so do I.
It's a beautiful house. It
I
was built
love
in the
Shree, a good arch.
yes, me too. Love arches. It was built in the 90s, and it was kind of on the exterior was bagged and rendered, and it was a white kind of going a bit grey, and it had excuse me, it had the brown brick arches at the front, and it had a generic probably 1990s front door with the light and and then I went inside, and it still had arches inside, which I loved, and the walls were either a mid-grey, which made everything really dark,
And
or
cold.
and someone had gone through it and painted the kitchen and the living room. So kitchen, diner, and living room was vivid white. And
Oh,
so, oh, okay. And then they'd done some flooring, which was interesting. The kitchen had a grey laminate flooring, like a grey oak, and but a mid-grey again. These people loved mid-grey. And then a sage green kitchen, which was confronting. And then the carpet in the rest of the house was blue, and a deep blue. And then the living room had a lovely, really dark navy blue carpet tile. So
a whole
yeah,
mix of a whole bunch of,
different styles
yeah, but
and
also colors that lean cool.
yes, yeah, and it really made the house feel,
Yeah, yes.
very closed in. There was also a
Like
sunroom out the back.
cell number one at Central Station prisons.
Yes.
Remember my old police days? Those they just used to paint them. I call it prison grey. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's valid.
Yeah,
There was also a sunroom just
yeah,
outside the kitchen dining room,
yeah,
and it was all walled in with shade cloth and shade cloth at one end and windows at the other end,
yeah.
and it was all painted in that beautiful mission brown, and it was just so dark. It just
Yes.
contributed to how dark and closed in the house felt. Yeah.
So during the renovation, where did you
Yeah.
start?
Where did
What
I
did you
start?
start doing? What did you start doing first?
The very first thing I did was rip up the flooring, to be
Yeah,
honest. I
yeah,
was dying to see what was under it.
yeah,
And it was beautiful cypress pine in a really good condition, which
yeah.
was great. The danger with cypress pine is that it can go orange, when
Orange,
it's
yellow. Yeah,
refinished. Yeah, yeah. So you've got to be careful of that. So I ended up having that lime washed,
yeah,
which brought it up, and it's got beautiful peachy, like grey
yeah,
colours through it. It's gorgeous. And I changed the vivid white and the mid grey paint to natural white,
yeah.
which is a warmer, yeah, and it just picks up the beautiful colours in the timber. So timber floors throughout now, which is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Demolished the kitchen
yeah.
and the bathroom and the ensuite. And the laundry. The ensuite was one of those lovely en suites where it's not even a meter deep, but it goes the full width of the bedroom. So
A lot
I'm
of
not I'm not sure how a full grown man would actually have a shower in that shower, because it was just, yeah, it was 990 mils deep. So I ended up I came home and had a fabulous time on SketchUp and drew up the plans, and I was able to knock down the wall into the ensuite, and I got an extra half a metre by moving it out alongside the wardrobe. So
yeah,
that change just made heaps of difference.
yeah,
Yeah, just means you can move in the
yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
So yeah, I was able to.
Oh, sorry. Your gift is identifying that. It's not just what things look like. It's spatial awareness. It's movement through a house. It's the design, the feel, what it's going to be like to live in there. Um,
Yeah. I wanted to give because the house is gorgeous. It's a family home, and so therefore there's going to be. I'm envisaging a young family with kids.
yeah,
So I kind of really, it was an opportunity to provide the parents with a beautiful master suite, you know, and they have the front of the house has this little sort of cutout with a beautiful date palm and stuff in the window in front of that master bedroom. And
Yes.
I just felt it could be so zhuzhy, it could be fabulous. And I always use porcelain tiles and really good quality fittings and fixtures. And so with this, I moved the wall out, and then I was able to give them a walk-in shower, and I had an arch screen so that takes in the arches in the other end of the house, because there was no arches down this end.
Yeah.
So I just felt sad for it.
Yeah.
So put in arch, a beautiful arch frameless shower screen, so you can just walk in through the shower. And then with all the arches everywhere, and I just felt it was design-wise, it really needed to be Spanish Revival. It just looked so like it was ready for it. So with that, and I had beautiful porcelain travertine look tiles that I used. So I used brushed copper fittings and fixtures as well, just for that Spanish sort of feel. It's about the vibe, Linda.
Agree. So it's about, well, in that circumstance, and I'm a bit the same, I will look at what a house already brings. Like a house already has some character. There are so many people, Donna, who would have grabbed hold of that house and squared off arches and done a whole lot of different things. But I really like to lean into design and character. I think that keeps a home looking unique and special when it's all done up and comes
Well,
back.
yeah. I don't see the point in taking the character out of it, because then just go and buy a new house.
Yeah, make your house look generically like every other house, and that's just
Actually, that was how I chose my builder. One of the builders came in, and he said, "Well, the first thing I do is square off those arches." And I thought,
I had an
first thing I do, first thing I do is say bye-bye.
Get rid of you.
Yeah. So the other builder the builder I ended up with was fabulous. And I did things like, there was a linen cupboard in the hallway that ate into the space in the master in the main bathroom. So I took the linen cupboard out to increase the space, so you can have a full-size bathtub in there, and you know, all of those kind of things. And then just added extra storage. There was an unused corner of the kitchen, and I just did a pantry, a corner pantry, and then another tall cabinet floor to ceiling for all of the linen and storage that you were just losing, which was twice the size of the one they used to have, you know. So it was lovely. It was really good.
Sometimes it's just shuffling a few things around while you've got the chance, particularly if you're pulling a few walls apart or pulling some gyprock off. It's very easy to reconfigure a few things like that make all the difference between, you know, a space being usable and enjoyable or not.
And don't you just love that part when things start coming down?
When you're sitting there looking at nighttime at the plans, and you come up with an idea and you think, oh, I'm a genius. What I've just worked out. Absolutely brilliant. All right. So during the renovation, what was your most challenging moment with the build?
I was really lucky.
Why did you work? What did you do?
Well, I didn't really, excuse me, I'm just going to get some water. Sorry. I didn't really have I think with good planning, with good design, I spent a lot of time from when we bought the house till when it settled. I spent the whole time working on the plans. And simple little things like changing the toilet direction. It was on that wall, and it just meant that because you've got to have a certain amount of clearance for people to be able to get off the toilet if they have a heart attack and paramedics come in, you know, you need the access. That meant that the shower just was so tiny if I wanted to keep the bathtub where I wanted it. And so I ended up just swinging the toilet around to center it under the bathroom window. And that meant that gave me another 300 mils straight away, because you only need 900 there instead of 1200. So things like that. But I think if you spend a lot of time on your design, and I was aware that one of the joists under the main bathroom had some rot from water damage, but we were ripping all of that out anyway. So it didn't. Yeah, I guess I was fortunate. I didn't hit any difficulties.
So
So
the challenges were just working through the things as they come up, which happens on every renovation. There's always something. We're in the business
yeah,
of solving problems one by one, I think.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're right. There will always be things that come up, but none of them were major. You know.
No, which,
Yeah.
which is awesome. All right. So, what did it feel like walking through the finished space when it was all styled? It was on the market. How, like, what did it feel like for you, who'd spent a few months on the project?
Yeah, I actually got a bit teary. I think I know I'm hopeless,
Lovely.
but I think we've discussed that I'm sort of from creative roots, and I think creative people are very emotional. And yeah, I just was so happy. It just looks so beautiful. One of the things that I did outside that it didn't dawn on me until I actually looked at a photograph from the photographer.
Yeah.
I resealed the driveway in the front part,
Yes.
and during the Spanish revival thing, if I was really honest, it would have been a crushed gravel,
Yeah.
and of course I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
So I did the paths in the driveway in a very light color called paper bark, which toned in with the correct colors for the Spanish revival, and
Yeah.
then did the white marble chip in the garden beds as well, and then
Yes.
the plantings were Mediterranean just to tie all of that theme through. And there's this beautiful photo. I did carriage lights. All of the external lights are all beautiful black carriage lights, and with beveled glass in them, so they cast those beautiful marks on the walls. And I
Yeah.
changed the front door to a Merbau front door, which tied in with everything, because over that window where the date palm was outside the master bedroom, there were
Yes.
some really old beams that were looking very past their use by date. And I got the guys to replace them with Merbau as well. And
Yeah.
then the back deck that I put on, I knocked all the walls out of the sunroom, and then we put a back deck on in Merbau. And it just tied it all in together. And I got rid of the mission brown on the
Yeah.
sunroom as well.
Yeah.
So the black carriage lights along
Yeah.
the back wall in the new deck outdoor living area. I painted the pergola in monuments. So, it just all tied through. And I didn't really see it until I saw the photograph from the photographer. And
Yeah.
I was just so thrilled. I just thought, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
funny when
Beautiful.
you're in it, you don't see it as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I agree because you're in the doing and you're making decisions along the way, and to see the final picture when it's all styled, it's
yeah.
it's one of those things for renovators. There's a lot of talk out there on the market about it's flip for profit, it's this, it's that. No one talks about how it makes you feel to go from a project like right through the journey. The journey is just
Oh,
as rewarding
it's
as the outcome, as the
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have those days where you just want to go home.
I
You're
call that
thinking like,
the messy middle where you think, when will this end?
yes, 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 absolutely. And you're
Yeah.
questioning your life choices, and you're painting your fourth coat of vivid white or undercoat over a horrendous mid-grey that just won't go away.
Yeah.
And you're just miserable. And then you get to the end and go, oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, that was so
Yeah.
worth it. I'd do that again in a heartbeat. Next
Yeah.
project. Yeah. Funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, so you also create some fluid art on the side. Explain what you mean by fluid art. What does that look like? If you're on YouTube, guys, you'll see Donna's background, which is just gorgeous. That is her work. But,
Um,
but talk.
okay. Well, fluid art is literally as it says. You use acrylic paint,
Yeah,
and some people use water. Other people use something like Floetrol, some kind of medium,
yeah,
and it's all about. A lot of it is about the chemistry and the different effects that you can get from using different paints and things together. And it's swiping, pouring, blowing. It's all sorts of things. So yeah, so you can see my paintings.
yeah.
Some of my paintings behind me. Yeah. Yeah, I
So
love it. Absolutely love it.
yeah, well, you're creative, and I'm sure you get lost for hours just by Or do you, what do you?
Yes, I do. I do. I mix paints. I decide which colors I'm going to go for, and then I mix them one day, and then the next day and again, this is why I live on my own. I just completely put drop sheets down
First.
everywhere. And I lose my dining room for quite a few days while the paint's dry and everything.
Wonderful.
I have a huge mural on my dining room wall, goes around the corner, and it's I have to. It looks like a scene out of Dexter or a CSI sort of scene, because I put plastic tape that up around all the walls so I don't blow paint onto my mural, and it's quite funny. But yeah, and then I have a lovely time just painting and seeing how the colours flow into each other and what effects it all has. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. And you've got a great eye for color. It's just beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Fabulous. All right. So someone stood on stage and you sing in front of people, and now you stand in front of people in their homes, helping them make all the big decisions. What have you learned about people along the way that surprises you?
Ah.
The business of people, Donna.
Yeah, some of the biggest surprise for me was how people can actually hide their true personality.
Yeah.
In a first meeting, for example, a very, very happy-go-lucky, easygoing person can actually end up being the most stressed person you've ever worked with, who is going to completely stress over every little thing
Yeah.
during the process. I think that's it. I think I've gotten better at reading people, but I'm still always surprised by how they are. And that's under stress, because let's face it, if you're renovating someone's house,
Yeah.
it's a stressful situation for them.
Yeah. Well, it can be, which is why they're calling you to help,
Yeah,
right? So it's not something they're really comfortable. It's not something they do with confidence and ease, which is why
no.
they're reaching out for help. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Did a house in Sydney, a three-way bathroom,
Yeah.
I guess you would call it, not really three-way bathroom, but sort of had a beautiful sort of foyer. And they had actually designed and commissioned their own stained glass window at the end of that.
Yeah.
And then a toilet on one side and then a bathroom on the other side. And it was all black slate and cedar. It was really, really dark.
Yes.
And I went in and said, okay, I think that if we do one of the whites, all these beautiful whites that are out now,
Yeah.
with some VJ paneling on your foyer as you walk in, that stained glass window is going to be stunning. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
really
Allow that to
hot.
pop. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did all of that, and oh my goodness, it looked beautiful at the end.
Yeah.
Really happy. Yeah.
And they would be happy with that because that's obviously a piece that they've had commissioned. So they've put their energy and their pride into that. That appealed to them. That
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And at first they only wanted to do sort of 1200 and 2100 height tiling and stuff.
yeah.
And as we went through the process, and I did a bunch of elevations and drawings for them and renders, they ended up going floor to ceiling tiling in the bathroom, which is just fabulous. It looks beautiful. It really does.
Well done.
So yeah, look, I just love um I love, it's kind of like having a secret, if that makes sense, because
Yeah.
you know what it's going to be at the end. You
Yeah.
already know, but they don't. They understand, they've seen the pictures. And no matter how many times you send somebody a render, they will still go, oh, I didn't think it was going to look like that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
you think, yeah, so it's a visualization thing, but it's lovely having a secret because you know that they're going to be so thrilled at the end. It's
It's a
really
secret.
cool.
It's a gift, Donna. Some people have it and some people don't. And you have it in spades.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, to walk through a house and already visualize what can be is not something everyone can do. So that's why it's important to work with people like you, Donna, you, people just like you. Um, guys, if someone's sitting at home right now staring at a room and they don't love, but they're feeling stuck, where to start? What's the one piece of advice you would give them? This is our closing question.
Okay. Okay. You need to be very, very aware of the desired functionality of the room.
Yeah.
And that's everything, how you use it, how much light is in it, all of those things. You need to be aware of that before you even start looking for how to change it.
Fabulous. Thank you, Donna.
My
Everybody who
pleasure.
is listening, you are so welcome to contact Donna. I'll give you her direct email address, donna@interiorsbydonna.com.au, donna@interiorsbydonna.com.au. Don't forget to follow Donna on Instagram at interiorsbydonna1, and you can find her website at interiorsbydonna.com.au. You'll find pictures of the renovation that we just spoke about, the Spanish house, the Spanish Revival house, and lots of other stuff that Donna's produced over the years. And thank you so much for joining me, Donna, today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's lovely.
It's a pleasure.